Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to World War Bitcoin. I just want to go ahead and dive right in. It looks like Bitcoin is trying to figure out what to do. Now, let me extend the chart. We got a 3 minute chart here. I'm going to extend it to about an hour. Is an hour okay? So, this is the last day or two. We saw quite a rise getting near that all time high and then crashed back down. I don't even want to say a crash. Went down pretty far, close to 18,000, and then rose back up. And it's just been kind of holding steady around the low 1900s all day. I have used this opportunity to buy more Bitcoin. I hope that you have too. I can't see this going much lower over the next few days. I mean, we're talking about PayPal and Square buying every Bitcoin that's mined. We're talking about not Grayscale, Guggenheim. They're trying to buy a day's worth of Bitcoin every day for the next 30 days. There's just the supply is decreasing, and I hope you guys realize that there are going to be opportunities that aren't going to be available coming down the road, and those opportunities are available now. You're taking it for granted. I am too, but things are looking pretty bleak, even for the opportunity to just straight up buy Bitcoin. The opportunities may not be there much longer. We'll get into that in a second. Let's check out Ethereum. I'm sure it's pretty similar. Now, Ethereum, again, it went up to almost 640, and then it went back down. And why is that? Does it have anything to do with Ethereum 2.0? I don't think so. I think it's just because it's so correlated with Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin is going to do, Ethereum is going to do too. So Bitcoin's reaching its all-time high, and there's major resistance there, like we've talked about in previous days. And so it goes down $1,000, which these days isn't that big of a deal. But Ethereum follows suit. And so I don't think these prices have much to do with Ethereum 2.0. I think there will be some separation over the coming days and weeks and months, but that time is not here yet. So, hey, a couple things that I want to show you real quick, and not going to spend too much time here today. This chart right here should alarm you. What am I looking at? This is how much Coinbase, Femex, anywhere that you go to actually buy Bitcoin, this is their supply. And as you can see, it's going down. So I'm just wondering, as you should too, what happens when that supply goes to zero? Because everyone wants to get into Bitcoin. We're seeing large amounts of institutional investors getting in. We're seeing PayPal, we're seeing Square buying up heavy doses of Bitcoin. And so we're seeing Coinbase, Femex, all these other Bitcoin suppliers. What's going on? They're running out. And so what happens down the road when we have these banks, we have these institutional investors going past Coinbase, going straight to the miners and just cutting a deal with the miners and saying, hey, sell us your Bitcoin directly? Does that mean that Coinbase and Femex and all these other people just run out of Bitcoin to sell? I could totally see that happening. And so we're living in the glory days. What if there's a day coming, what if that day is coming soon, where you just straight up cannot buy any Bitcoin because nobody has any to sell? That day may be coming. All right. And that's what this chart is showing me. And that's why the alarms are going off. Not necessarily because I'm scared of the price going down. Quite the opposite. The price is going to rise if we can't buy any. But the fact that we may not be able to actually purchase any Bitcoin when we want to, that's kind of scary. And that day may be coming soon. All right. Let's move on here. This was, I'm going to be honest with you, it was a little bit of clickbait. The Bitcoin Magazine FOMO meter got really excited because I thought there would actually be a FOMO meter and we would be able to see how much people are fearing missing out on purchasing Bitcoin. But no, it's just what it is. It's a list of people FOMOing. So public FOMO date, November 17th, 2020. Ricardo Salinas Pliego announced publicly that he holds Bitcoin on November 17th, 2020. Estimated net worth $12.7 billion. Second, he's Mexico's second wealthiest citizen. And so here's a list of all the people who have bought Bitcoin, let me back up, who have publicly indicated that they are into Bitcoin. Stanley Druckenmiller, Jim Cramer, that's funny, Michael Saylor. You could look at this list. That's what the meter is. It's not an actual meter, which would have been awesome. I would have loved to have seen that. Anyway, moving on. Visa BlockFi launching credit card with Bitcoin rewards. Get Bitcoin back on all transactions. The title sucked me in. Sign me up. Where can I sign up for that credit card? Check it out, news.bitcoin.com. Visa credit, that's a great idea. I mean, sure, the amount of Bitcoin that I'll get back on all my transactions is going to be incredibly small, but I'll take it. I use my credit card plenty, and I pay it off at the end of the month, of course. But check it out. And lastly, all right, let me go to the top here. This is a study, Blockchain Capital blog. Bitcoin is still a demographic megatrend. Data update. So the thing that I will just glean from this article for a second, and I'll share with you, is you've seen it. You've seen Google Trends that there's just not much, even as we're reaching the all-time high. Searches are increasing a little bit. It's getting a little bit on people's minds, but you compare this to 2017 when all of my friends on Facebook were talking about it. We're gradually, slowly but surely moving into the idea that Bitcoin is entering the public stream of consciousness, but we still have a long way to go. So let me conviction phase. Check this out for sure. Medium.com, Blockchain Capital blog. Conclusion. The most notable takeaway from this data is that Bitcoin has two very significant tailwinds from the passage of time. First, as Bitcoin proves itself year over year, the general population, regardless of age, seems to be progressing through the adoption funnel. And that they talk about the adoption funnel earlier in the article. Second, with the passage of time, currently younger demographics comprise a larger portion of aggregate economic and investment activity, which is particularly notable given that younger demographics are drastically more inclined to buy and use Bitcoin than older demographics. This, I believe, should give you some hope if you are in that younger generation, that there is a wealth transfer happening. And you know what? Our parents, our grandparents, for some of you, will be fine, but we are going to be positioned, I believe, to be the wealthiest generation that this world has ever seen as we take wealth back into our hands and away from those who are too late. I hate to say it like that, but that's really encouraging. And let me keep reading. Ultimately, technology and macro investors have long focused on the interest, engagement, and activities of younger segments of the population as a window to the future. In this case of Bitcoin and crypto more broadly, the indicators are evident. The question is, will forward-looking companies and investors position accordingly? And that's a cool thing. We have gotten in, for those of us who are in, we've gotten in before the smart money. Now, plenty of smart money has gotten in, but there's a lot of smart money that's still on the sidelines, and we're in before then. And so as they get in, as that price of Bitcoin rises, we are the ones who are going to benefit. So check it out. That's all I have for today. Again, technical analysis. The biggest piece of technical analysis that I will tell you is watch out for that resistance, the all-time high or 20,000 resistance. I think, again, like I said yesterday, we are going to try to break through that resistance maybe 2 or 3 more times, and then eventually we'll break through, and after that it is off to the races, and we will be talking about $20,000 Bitcoin as a thing of the past. You will be looked at as some grand wizard for getting into Bitcoin below $20,000, and I even think one day below $100,000. All right, that's it. Thank you for your time. I hope you stay safe out there and stay safe with your money. Peace.